Hello, dear students. Arik is here, your Russian coach. How are you doing today? So let's have a little laughter together, first of all. Little laughing therapy. You're going to have lots of fun. Today we are starting our new course. So look at the screen, please. You will have to print out the following article. Церковный Раскол XVII Века. You have the link to this article below this video. So if you don't have it printed yet, just open it on your screen. But it's much better if you print it out till the next time, till the next lesson. Now, Церковный Раскол XVII Века. Just another word. It's for you need to have at least basics of Russian in order to participate in those lessons. I'm actually aiming those lessons at quite advanced learners. So Церковный comes from Церковь, which is a church. And Раскол means split. So Церковный Раскол XVII Века would be the split in the church split of the 17th century, because Vek means century. And below that you have another smaller title that goes as follows. Патриарх Никон и протопоп Аввакум. Как сложилась их судьба? So, Patriarch and Protopop, those are church, like the titles of the Orthodox Church. So, Patriarch means patriarch, and Protopop, I'm just going to check it out, what would be the English equivalent of that. So, that's archpriest. So, patriarch Nikon, and the archpriest Аввакум. Как сложилась их судьба? Сложилась in this case means happened. But it comes from the root of сложить. Например, for example, сложить puzzle. Сложить puzzle means to compile, to put together. So, как сложить, but here it means just happened. And судьба means destiny. So those two people, how happened their destiny? And of course, in the proper English, that would be, how did their destiny happen? Or just what happened to them? So, by the way, the background of this course is the split in the Russian church a few centuries ago, where they split in two parts, the old believers and probably it's called the new believers, or like the current mainstream Russian Orthodox Church, and the old believers. So, причины и последствия церковного раскола. Причины, causes. Последствия, consequences or results. So, the causes and the results of the church split. Now, содержание статьи. Do you remember from the previous article, содержание? It means the contents. The contents of the, what is статья? Remember? Статья means article. The contents of the article. So, the first point would be причины церковного раскола в XVII веке. So, the reasons, right? The reasons of the reasons or the causes of the church split in the 17th century. The second point is Nikonovskaya reforma. So Nikonovskaya, so that it relates to the patriarch Nikon. So Nikonovskaya would be an adjective from the name Nikon, which is the reform by Nikon. And then последствия церковного раскола. The consequences or the results, like the aftermath. You know this English word? Aftermath. The aftermath of the church split. And it goes the following. Церковный раскол XVII века стал одним из самых значительных и сложных событий в истории русской православной церкви. Okay, so стал means became. Одним из comes from один из, which is one of. Самых значительных. So значительных comes from значительный, which is significant. Very important word. Значительный means significant. Сложных comes from сложный, which is complicated. But here, just notice both of those adjectives are in plural. So, одним из самых значительных и сложных событий. Remember событий? We had it quite a lot. It means events. So, one of the most significant and complicated events. And the Russian Orthodox Church, it's called in English, in Russian, Русская Православная Церковь. So, the Orthodox, you wouldn't say ортодоксальная церковь, you would say православная церковь. So, what are they saying here? Церковный раскол XVII века стал одним из самых значительных и сложных событий в истории русской православной церкви. The church split of the 17th century became one of the most significant and complicated events in the history of the Russian Orthodox Church. Он разделил православных христиан на сторонников и противников реформы патриарха Никона. So on relates to the word Раскол, which is split. On, Раскол. Разделил, divided, comes from разделить. Православных христиан, so the Orthodox, you remember православных, русская православная церковь, the Orthodox Christians, православных христиан, на сторонников, so he divided the Orthodox Christian in сторонники, сторонников comes from сторонники, сторонник means supporter, so please, you can underline in your printed materials, сторонник, supporter, and противник means the one who is against, what would be the opposition of, but let me check the exact English word for противник in the dictionary. So adversary would be a good one. Another one would be opponent. So I will just take opponents. So supporters and opponents. So on, meaning the Раскол, разделил православных христиан на сторонников и противников реформы патриарха Никона. So it divided the Orthodox Christians into supporters and the opponents of the reform of Patriarch Nikon. Последних объявляли еретиками, преследовали и казнили. So, последних comes from последний, which is the last. You know that, right? Последний, the last. But here we will translate that as the latter, the former and the latter, and it relates to what has been mentioned in the previous sentence, сторонников и противников. So, последних meaning противников, the opponents, the adversaries. Объявляли, announced, еретиками, heretics. So in English we wouldn't say it like that, but that's pretty clear. So the latter, they announced as the heretics. In English we would probably put it in passive. So the latter were considered or were announced as heretics, but here it's just an impersonal sentence. So it's like there is this word they, but it's not mentioned here. So the latter, they announced as heretics. Преследовали. So again, like they, but there is no they here in there. So they announced. They chased. Преследовать means to chase or to go after something, after someone. To chase, to go after. So they announced them as heretics, chased, meaning them, the latter, и казнили, and executed. Yeah? So again, последних объявляли еретиками, Преследовали и казнили. So the latter they announced as heretics, they chased after them, and they executed them. Разделение не удалось преодолеть до сих пор. Разделение не удалось преодолеть до сих пор. So разделение means split. Не удалось. Не удалось means it wasn't possible. Не удалось. It wasn't possible, slash, it wasn't successful. So that's the expression не удалось. Преодолеть, to overcome. До сих пор, until now. That's whole expression. So the split. It was not possible to overcome until now. So in the proper English, that would be, it wasn't possible to overcome the split up until now. Разделение не удалось преодолеть до сих пор. Мы расскажем о причинах и последствиях трагического раскола. So мы расскажем, we will tell. Рассказывать, to tell. Мы расскажем, that's future tense. We will tell about the causes and the consequences of the tragic split. So now please listen to this whole paragraph and you will understand it well. It's gonna be a little miracle we are going to create together. Listen. Imagine, so in your imagination, go to the 17th century. Церковный раскол XVII века стал одним из самых значительных и сложных событий в истории Русской Православной Церкви. Он разделил православных христиан на сторонников и противников реформы патриарха Никона. Последних объявляли еретиками, преследовали и казнили. Разделение не удалось преодолеть до сих пор. Мы расскажем о причинах и последствиях трагического раскола. So guys, how do you feel? Today we're going to stop here. It's going to be a short lesson. We're going to meet each other next time. Meanwhile, I wish you lots of love, lots of happiness, and just remember that life is beautiful. It's a miracle. Ciao, ciao.